Oh, and there's Josiah.
Hey, we got another one.
That was a really informative meeting. Thanks a lot, Eldon. I'll see you guys in class.
Yeah, see you guys.
Okay, I'm not letting anybody else in the room now. Josiah's
Sorry.
okay. Okay, it's okay. Where are you?
You're muted.
He's
You look
in
like-
Dryden at
You look
home.
like you're at Kelsey's.
He's in bed.
Yeah, my bed is at Kelsey's.
Oh, now Scania has arrived. Guess I shouldn't sound so excited.
Is he at Starbucks?
Did we say 9 or 9:15?
9.
Oh, okay.
Everyone shows up now, 9:15. Maybe we would have said 9:15.
All right, so internship. What I need to know from you guys is how many of you want to go on internship, given the realities of our society. Luke, I understand your situation is a little bit different. But I want to make sure that everybody who's I want to make sure that everybody's required to go on internship is comfortable going on internship. That's number one. Number two is we are waiting on churches to get back to us about their interest and availability for interns. So far in Eastern Western Ontario, we've heard back from 5, I think. 4 of them have said yes, which is pleasantly surprising. I actually thought we might get more negative responses than that, just given the circumstances. I want to believe in and be hopeful for the best scenario. However, given the last 8 months, you guys all know that things can change on a dime. And one of my biggest concerns for all of you is that you would pack up and go and then find out that it's not happening, or 2 weeks in and it changes, right? So again, I don't want to sow that seed of skepticism, but just think about the realities of what we're dealing with. I want to make sure you're comfortable with it. Number 2, are the churches comfortable with it? So like I said, churches are responding favorably so far. So the other option, so one option is to go, obviously. Another option is if you would prefer to stay kind of in your home area and there's a church we can connect you with there, and you just stay home and you go. So you have less exposure to potential COVID cases, and more comfort level for yourself, possibly. The third option, which I hadn't really thought about until I talked to one of this members of this class last week, it was Isaac I was talking to, is if you can't get a great experience in internship, would you prefer to defer? So some students may say, well, if I'm going to have a second-rate internship for whatever reason, maybe I want to just defer so I get the maximum educational benefit from it at a later time. But then again, the downside to that is, when are you going to defer to? Is it going to be any different by summer or by fall or by whatever, right? So, our 4th years for last year, for graduation was supposed to take place last weekend. And it was postponed again because we can't have more than 50 people meeting in a room. So a school has to operate by different rules, by the way, than churches do. So it's not 30% capacity for school. School is considered a community organization, and we can't have more than 50 people in a room, no matter how big the building is. So their graduation's deferred again, probably for another year till next April. So anyways, that's kind of the options. I'm just kind of putting it out there for you, just to tell you kind of what the options would be, see what your responses are. And we can discuss this a little bit more right now, but if you don't want to, talk about this with me in a group, you want to talk about it more privately, then just private message me and we can connect after this meeting at some point to talk about your specific scenarios. And I think everybody has specifics that are in unique situations compared to others. So, oh, Sam, I'm not going to repeat that.
I have a question, Eldon.
Yeah, why you got a surprise face there, Joey?
I don't have it was just a joke.
Okay.
In regards to option number 2,
Yep.
So like staying home and connecting with a church in your area.
Yep.
What does that look like in terms of being like set up and facilitated? Like, would the school come alongside you and help you figure that out, or are you like kind of on your own to arrange that?
No, we have to organize all that with the district.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It'd just
So
be a
would
matter
you
of-
approach the churches or would we?
No,
Okay, perfect.
yeah, we would. Or
I'm
district.
just wondering.
So,
Um,
just so you know, like Owen has stepped in to help me a little bit with internship because he's the internship coordinator. He has approached Wayne Giroux and Jeremy Albrecht, but also Jim Malloy from the Maritimes. And I know that Jeremy and Wayne have sent lists of 8 to 10 youth pastors who they recommend for internship, all with at least 4 years experience. I dropped it a year just to give us a few more options. And so we think that we may have as many as 16 options, if they all said yes. I expect that will be more like 10 to 12, which would accommodate everybody here. Of those that I have high confidence in them giving you a great experience because of their experience, I'd say probably 70% of them. So again, I would like to try and keep the bar as high as possible for you guys so that you'll have the best experience possible. But again, COVID changes all of this in terms of logistics, right? So I'm actually a bit surprised. And again, I don't mean to sound negative, but I'm thinking if a pastor, we would normally keep somebody in our home. If there's an intern coming, let's say as a member of church, we'd have no problem with that. But if a pastor approached us and said, we'd like to keep somebody for 3 months, they're coming from, 3 or 4 hours away. I'm not sure that we would be quite as ready to say yes to that as we would have been prior to COVID, right? Because every member of my family would have different connections and different reasons why that might be a challenge for us. So pastors are willing. We'll see if, hosts would be willing to. Hopefully that's the case. So somebody had sorry,
Alan,
go for it.
yeah, you had, in a previous conversation, you had suggested that one of the elements and intentions of the internship process is to put us in a context that we are not well versed in.
Yep.
I can't help but think that the home church option somewhat defeats the purpose of that.
Mm-hmm.
Although, and again, and as you stated more than adequately, we're forced to contend with our circumstance.
Yeah. I think the home church would definitely probably be an option B or C, not an option A. Would be an A choice. But staying home, like for you, for example, if you're in Cambridge, there's probably, if you had a vehicle, you would have 5 or 6 other options within a 20 to 30 minute drive too. But you could still stay at home, right?
Well, my home church right now is the youth pastor Sean Brophy, who I know you know.
Yep. Yeah, so some situations could work out to be really, really well, could go really well, but others maybe not so much. So, and some people may be willing to compromise their internship experience just because they want to get finished and get through this season too, which I respect. Not the ideal, but we may not actually be able to have the ideal in every situation. I think if people choose any one of the 3 options, we can accommodate it, right? So looks like we'll have some churches that will take interns. And then some people may choose to stay home and go someplace local. Again, I think it's kind of like you guys aren't here to deal with Owen and Field Ed, although maybe you've heard this because maybe you're doing Field Ed online or at a distance. When we came to Field Ed this year, Peter, Merv, and Owen basically threw up their hands and said, do Field Ed wherever you can find a place to do it. Doesn't matter if it's church community or whatever, just get Field Ed. So, internship may have a little bit of an opportunity, maybe an opportunity more so now than ever to kind of bend some rules that have been kind of in place to accommodate and make things happen if we have to.
Do you foresee this being presented as options or as kind of, here's what we're going to go with in this order? If like procedurally, this would be our ideal for you. If that doesn't work out, we'll go subsequently to these options.
I think if you tell me that you're prepared to go, then we'll find the best options to fit what you need. Definitely. We always have to be prepared for December to come around. We find out that's not going to happen. Not because of us, but circumstances will force that. But then we have to, again, like we have since February, shift or pivot or whatever to find another option or whatever, right? So, but I think the intention now is, our intention as a school is, right now this is our 5th week now with students here. No symptoms, nobody's sick. So we're kind of, thank God that we're still able to function the way we are. And public health is, gave us a thumbs up to do what we're doing. So as long as we can continue that and into the second half of the semester, then our intention will be that we'll function fully as a school in the winter. We can still keep all the distancing necessary, especially when 4th years aren't here. We can keep distancing and all that stuff in place. And so I think the plan is to go ahead with internship as much as we possibly can as normal. The district leadership team did meet and, the internship leadership team, I wasn't at that meeting, but yeah, they're pretty much saying whatever we can do, we'll do it. Scania, I can't see because of your dark background. You got long hair?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. It's getting there now.
I was sharing I have to get mine cut this week. I have 4 weddings.
No.
Yeah, 4 weddings on the weekend. I did one on Saturday and I felt like, yeah, you know what? It's a little bit too out of control for a wedding.
No, it's not.
We'll put it up in a ponytail for you.
I don't want a ponytail. I'm just gonna get it trimmed so it's not so I'm not gonna cut the length at all, but I'll try and grow it at least till Christmas.
So cool. It's longer than ever.
Well, my boys want me to grow it so I can donate it long enough so I can donate it. So I'm like, who'd want gray hair? And I thought, well, I guess a lot of people my age get cancer and need gray hair, right? So, or they need a
I'll
trim.
take your gray hair.
You'll take my gray hair? Oh, Joey, that's nice.
Make a hair doll out of it. Little Eldon.
It got weird. It got weird, man.
Put that on your office shelf someday. This is all I got from this guy. Hey, Sam,
Piece of paper and a hair doll.
what was that?
Said I got a piece of paper and a hair doll.
Nice.
Cost me 75 grand.
Well, that would just like be value added.
Exactly.
Eduardo, are you really here?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you're okay.
Zoom was giving me problems
Okay,
to join late.
just checking.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, true. At least I'm here now.
It's the time difference in Cuba threw him off.
True, actually. Yeah, like even though it's like the time zones are the same, like it's just my culture to be late.
There's no sense of rush or hurry.
True.
It's not your culture to be late. You just operate in your own timetable and your own calendar, your own clock.
Hmm.
You're not late at all.
Exactly. If anything, I'm early.
There you go.
Also, could you clarify the second option in local church? Sorry, I wasn't.
I might have said that before you came on. You have to listen to the recording. Second option was stay at home and we find a place for you to be able to commute to and from within reason. Wouldn't have to be your home church. It could be another church. That was the second option. First option is, do you want to go anywhere that's best for you and for your education? Second one is, do you want to go the best possible place for your education that's close enough to home that you don't have to go somewhere? And the last option was to defer to another time. I don't think that's really an option. I think that's just kind of, if nothing's working out to your satisfaction, then you might want to consider that. Sorry, is that Josiah speaking?
Yeah, got a question.
Sure.
I live in the Manitoba district. So like, are you guys still able to potentially coordinate with them for me to do something in this area?
It's one of the rules I think we might be able to bend at this time.
Okay.
Yep.
We don't serve your kind here.
Yeah, we might have to talk separate because I think I have a bit of a unique situation.
Yeah.
For myself, so we can connect later on that.
We do have a situation, just so you guys all know, in, it's not too far north, but a more northern community that, where the youth pastor just became the lead pastor. And I think the district would consider him to be one of the top youth pastors. And he actually wants to have an intern come in that he can hire afterwards. So it'll be a great ministry experience with him and youth ministry. And I told him that the only way I'd let this happen is if he was literally able to take off his senior pastor hat and spend time in youth ministry with the intern, and then put the senior pastor hat back on again when he needs to. So yeah, but he wants to go this route and hire the intern. So if that's something that maybe tweaks your interest, then let me know, and we'll consider that as an option. Any of you?
I was just gonna add, like Josiah, if you wanted to meet and discuss my intern, unless it's more simple than I think, but obviously mine's a bit of a unique scenario also, with the being kind of like part-time.
Yeah. One of the things,
I
just
think
I forgot to mention this, one of the things that Owen and I have talked about is depending how everything kind of plays out, I've got 11 or 12 interns here, right? So it all depends where, it could be a mishmash, a little bit of where everybody is, depending on what you guys want to do. But we did talk about the possibility of having, because it's a unique season, that we may be able to, I could book a meeting every week and have a youth pastor from anywhere in North America join us for a half-hour kind of youth ministry moment. So even though you may be in a situation where the youth pastor maybe isn't kind of our top choice for being a trainer for you, you could have a Ryan Morgan join us from BC for half hour, 45 minutes one week, and kind of anywhere across North America, we could set up Zoom youth ministry mentoring moments, which would be kind of a bit of a value added, but it really help the people who maybe are in maybe less than ideal circumstances.
if you want to send me to BC, I'm not going to complain.
Did I say that, or is that just what you heard?
I hear British Columbia is beautiful.
It is. I'll tell you what, I'll go out there and check it out for you.
Oh yeah, I bet you will.
Same.
I think we're probably all going to wind up in a one-on-one with you at some point in the next couple weeks or so, Eldon.
Okay. Even if you're kind of leaning towards one of these options, just fire me a private message just to tell me what you're leaning towards, and we can talk about the details. Maybe let's give me another week or so to get more feedback from churches, and then we'll know kind of where we're standing with that.
Okay.
But let me know kind of
Well,
where you're leaning. But if you can't tell me that because we need to talk further, that's fine. We'll do it.
yeah, well, maybe what I'll end up doing then is I'll just kind of book an appointment with you.
Yep.
Kind of input it into your system, and then you can move it wherever you want.
By the way, this Thursday, I'm actually pretty much free all day and evening. I got a meeting at lunchtime, but all day meaning all afternoon and evening. So I'm going to slip
That's the
in
Thursday.
2 days from now.
Just in 2 days. Yeah. Okay.
Nothing on my schedule right there. It's all blankola. So if you guys wanted to take any of that time to connect, we can do that. I wouldn't have any specific responses for you in terms of churches or anything because we just don't have that information yet, but we definitely can talk about your scenario.
Yeah, I've got a concept to throw at you just because I've been working on it in my own head, but
Is it in BC or in Ontario?
whichever. It's actually both. It's a concurrent thing.
Oh, okay. Commuting
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yes, exactly. On foot.
I'm always open to creativity. Oh, bye, Joey. Joey already left.
Actually, I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. What happens if we go back into a more serious state of lockdown with things increasing? Like, what happens if we go into like a stage where we can't do youth gatherings? So like even in stage 2, you could do church services, but not youth gatherings. Like you weren't supposed to do youth gatherings. Would our internships be postponed?
Well, kind of like when we started the conversation, that's one of my bigger fears, is that we head down the road on this and it ends up not materializing. Fortunately, last year, the lockdown happened 3 weeks before internship ended. So some people were able to stay and did online with the church. Some just went home. We just didn't penalize them, right? We couldn't, obviously. I think that once we hear from these churches that they're interested and these youth pastors, I think the second question will be, okay, so will you have a plan to continue or try to continue with the intern even if this happens? I know they can't give me specifics, but would that still be their intention? Now that we've gone through this once they've already have a plan B for being
Yeah.
online anyways. So I think that, so we just need to make sure that there's some type of guarantee that you'll at least be able to continue with them no matter what happens. Even if that means going home and staying online with them, right? Which could be, you know, that's what a few people did last year. Celeste, I think, went back to Ottawa and she still stayed engaged online. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
When
wondering
I
'cause-
came back, oh, never mind. You go ahead, Luke. It's your question.
I was wondering because for me, like, regardless of what happens, I'll still be doing like whatever I'm doing, regardless if it's more youth or just more like other stuff at my church. So I wasn't sure if there was the possibility of it being just postponed altogether, or if it was more like on a case for case thing.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the things I like. I mean, they're saying cases are rising, but also at the same time, you never know. It could be fine, but and it also might be back to normal by January next year, even if it does rise and stop in November, right? Like at the rate we're at now, it's probably like November, mid-November that we'll have it or whatever because of the increase. So if it was to happen then, we may be good again by January to do more with like a church, right? Because it isn't like it's not projected months in the future. They're saying it's very soon with like when they think things are going to go back down a bit in Ontario specifically. So
and if you put any stock in what Donald says, it's no big deal.
yeah, we'll just go to our internships and not even wear masks when we meet. I'm just kidding.
Donald. Yeah, it's
We,
go ahead, Aaron.
well, I was just gonna say when I came home this summer, and as I mentioned, I was volunteering with Sean over the summer. Youth pastors are still coming up with their options for doing youth ministry, right? So even if internship doesn't look how it conventionally has in the past, it doesn't mean that we're not going to be doing youth ministry if we do these internships. It just means that we're going to be doing youth ministry in a way that hasn't looked like before, which is what pastors are doing.
Yep, exactly.
I was talking to a friend who's a teacher, and I was like, you know what? Honestly, like, I don't envy you, but I'm kind of jealous of the students who get to use you as a case study next year and 2 years from now and 5 years from now, and get to look at it and be like, what did they do? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah. No, you're right, Aaron. I think that that's actually been a valuable learning experience for everybody, regardless of normal or not normal, right? Because like you said, and who knows what the future is going to hold in the next 10, 15 years, right? So, yeah, so it's really a matter of, given all the stress that pastors and churches are already under, are they willing to then take an intern into that, right? So people like you, Luke, who are in a situation where you're not working with a youth pastor, Josiah, depending what happens with you, is we will try to find somebody who will be a youth ministry mentor to you anyways. So they'll be connecting with you regularly from a distance, probably, I imagine, this fall. But just to talk through youth ministry things, have a conversation with you about youth ministry related things. Your pastor in your church probably would be your official supervisor, because somebody has to be there on the ground, but we would have a youth ministry person connect with you. It could be a Jeremy Albrecht or a Wayne Drew or somebody like that, right? So
yeah, two things I wanted to say. First of all, I'm willing to drive if they wanted to do it in person and we're willing to. So I don't really care. Like I would drive an hour or so once a week or once every other week if that was what it meant. Also, that's what you just brought up a question I had. So my boss or my pastor is going to be my professor for this season. Is that essentially how it's going to function?
somebody has to evaluate things when you do things there. Somebody has to assess it.
Okay. I'm just wondering. I wasn't sure if it was like the mentor, or if it was my pastor, or if it was like a combination of the two and kind of how we relate, but
Combination of the two.
okay.
The thing is that technology has opened up the way we can grade internship far differently than it had in the past, right? So if your mentor was willing to listen to you speak to your youth ministry group, whether it's live or online, and you can broadcast it, then they can actually grade it that way without actually being there. So in the past, you were limited to whoever was there locally. We're not so limited anymore. Ryan would love to spend 4 nights a week just listening to interns preach to their junior high groups. and do the evaluation.
You have to introduce Ryan to the youth group. Hi everyone, this is Ryan. He's gonna be grading my sermon tonight.
So please do private chats to Ryan, all the things that are true about me.
It's funny.
Yeah, so we have to end up being more creative on our end too, with all of this. Gigi, any questions? Any comments? No? There's something growing out of your head, by the way.
It keeps hitting me in the face. It keeps hitting the back of the head because I have my fan on. So it's
It's like those vines my wife insists on growing. They grow up the side of the house and on the fence and on the windows, and makes me so mad.
Hey, Alden.
Yeah, Sam, you're still here. Hey.
Yeah, haven't left yet. In terms of locality, how local are we talking? Because in Milton, there's, I think, only one church near me. Like everything else is like Burlington, Mississauga, even Guelph area. So
I think it would just be a matter of how far are you comfortable to drive? Like if it's only 20 minutes, then we have to see, is there anything in that 20-minute radius? If not, then go out of luck.
sure.
Pick
Yeah.
plan B.
Yeah, I think 2 summers ago I did internship at Portico, and that was like a 25 to 30 minute drive. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be willing to drive like in that 20 to 40 range.
Okay.
If it came to that.
Come on down to Cambridge. You can sleep over at my place.
Yeah, true. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I think it kind of all depends too, Sam, on what it is that you want to gain from the experience, right? So that's something I want to get from all of you as well. Just like, what are the priorities? Did we talk about this already this last spring? Did I have a meeting with you guys in the spring? No, because we had COVID happen. Never mind. My intention was to meet with all of you to find out kind of what priorities we should be looking at, but that didn't happen.
Well, yeah, I was there not like 2 documents? Because I know we had to fill a first one where it was like our initial like response, and I know there was one. I think there was one we got in the summer to like clarify again. So I don't know if there was like 1 or 2, but I know for my first one, I was kind of open to the idea of like going anywhere, but like after reevaluating, like personally, I went more to like WOD oriented stuff. So I don't like. Is the second one the one that matters, or like or?
Yeah, whichever one you did first is a contract. You signed it, you're stuck. No, I'm just kidding.
True.
I'm just kidding. No, that was the application. I think there's, like you said, there's a first sheet that basically says, do you have a vehicle? You know, are you married or expect to be? What districts you wouldn't want to go to, stick to the one you're in, or cross districts. So that information probably is all that Esther will give me. And it might have asked you on there, what are 3 things you'd like to get out of internship? That really doesn't tell me a whole lot. I actually want to talk with you guys about what has been your youth ministry experience. Like, what have you done? What have you been part of? You know, that could be anything from a smaller youth group to a really large youth group, and you want to experience the opposite. If I only had 10 youth, what would I do? Right. So if that's the kind of environment you want to be in, that's where I want to put you. If you've only been part of a small ministry, you would rather see how it happens in a larger ministry. Maybe you want to see how effective discipleship works because you've never seen that. You want to be a part of that. Maybe you never worked with young adults before, but you know you need to learn. Then we'll put you in a place that has a strong young adult ministry. So it really comes down, that's always the way I do it initially, is talk to you, find out what it is that you need, because I don't want this to be something, you're not just going there to work with a church. You're going there as part of your education, right? You're paying for this as part of your education. So I want to make sure it's as custom made as much as possible so that you have an opportunity to learn what it is you need to learn, become a better, more well-rounded person. You get that youth ministry stamp on your nothing, I guess, on your degree, that you can confidently say that you've experienced more than just the church you grew up in, right? So that's my concern number 1. But again, if we can't find that within the parameters that you're comfortable with, or if we can't find a church that is open to having an intern, then we got to find out how do we accomplish that as much as we possibly can, even though it may not be the ideal. Does that make sense? You got the thumbs up. Okay, thanks, Sam. Yeah, an ideal world, I'd love for every one of you to be put in a place where you're out of your comfort zone, you're taking responsibility, you have a great youth pastor with good experience who can evaluate you. That's the ideal, always. That's to me the A plus scenario. But quite often I have to kind of go to an A, to a A and a B scenario, just given the logistics. C's don't make it to the list. You throw them on the floor. So never want to settle for a C opportunity. You guys mean more to me than that. I don't want you to hate me for the rest of your life. I can tell Joey's not here because he would have said something right now.
Yeah, he had to go. He put it in chat.
Yeah, I saw it. But he would have made a smart comment right there. All right, so that's kind of the deal. So if you guys want to think about that, do you want to go somewhere? Would you rather stay home and find some place within, a shorter commute to you where you are? That's really the only two options. The third option of deferring is really if nothing's really matching up for you and you just have sick feeling in your stomach that this isn't the way to go. You want to just put it off. And then there's something else that was just said. Yeah, and if you have any things like Aaron, you suggested that you might have something that's going on in your head that you might want to make a suggestion. We're always open to that. But again, I want to make sure that it's more difficult than easy. If you know what I mean. Don't want you to find an easy way to an internship. I want it to be something that really is challenging and, if not life changing, at least ministry shaping for you. Right. So
then are you wanting to meet with all of us individually then anyways, or should we submit through your booking thing that we want to meet with you to talk about some of our stuff?
I don't want to talk about any of your stuff. I just want to talk about internship. I'm kidding. I'm
You
kidding.
would.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll make bookings on Thursday, and if you guys want to grab, I'll just send the link just to you guys. If you want to grab one of those times, we'll do that. But I mean, if for now, even if you kind of know which way you're leaning, and you want to just fire that to me, we don't necessarily have to meet right now. If you say I want to go, hey, just book me in wherever, whoever. Never mind. If you want to just say, let's all meet privately. Because I do want to find out what your priorities are and kind of what your experience has been. That's important.
Okay.
You can tell I gave a lot of thought to this before we started.
Yep. Thanks for that.
Book me in for Thursday.
I had the 3 points. I just didn't have the application. I have a hard time drawing in the net here. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll set up Thursday for that. I expect you to buy me coffee for that meeting, though.
Okay.
You take
Sounds good.
Bitcoin?
What's that?
You take Bitcoin?
Well, yeah, sure, I'll take anything. It'll really tick me off though if I show up to that meeting, you're drinking coffee and I'm not. That'll really bug me.
Yeah, I heard the market's booming, so there's an investment there if youth doesn't work out.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I mean, Rise Street Starbucks is probably still doing Uber Eats, but I'm not paying the Uber Eats fee for you.
I'll go pick it up at Starbucks, Aaron. You just have to arrange it for me.
You go pick it up. I'll mobile order it for you. I don't care.
No, I'm just kidding. If I had 11 cups of coffee on Thursday, I'd be in trouble. I pity the person.
Oh
who can't
my.
that month.
You know what? The other night I did a closing shift and I had slept enough the night before, and I think I went through about 8 shots of espresso in the course of 8
geez.
hours.
Strung out, Aaron.
That
It was
sounds
good.
dangerous.
No, you know what? It wasn't even an 8-hour shift. It was like a 5-hour shift. And yeah, I moved through about 8 shots.
That's probably heart stopping right there. Heart
If
stopping.
you build up a tolerance. You really build up a tolerance.
You
Hey,
need to wear-
Eldon.
you need to wear an Apple Watch or a Fitbit watch to trace your heart, your blood pressure and your heartbeat, heart count. Yes, Luke.
Specifically my situation, am I like, is it fine that I'm only part-time in youth ministry? doing my placement? Like, is there, because I know like people in the past have done, like last year, or no, 2 years ago, someone did Global 180 with you because they were in ministry, but they were in worship. Whereas for me, as of probably internship, I'll probably be full-time children's and youth. So it'd be like half children's ministry, half youth.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
I
I was just
think
making sure.
because you're a youth major, you need to make sure that your internship assignments, the majority of them are in youth ministry, but they don't have to all be.
Right. Okay.
In internship, we encourage interns to experience everything as part of that ministry. Seniors, children, funerals, weddings, visitation, hospitals, all that stuff. Because a person in youth ministry in a church should have experience in all those things, right? So, Allison, I just see your head.
I saw it too.
Yeah, she's wrestling Chewy. I don't even know what he's doing. You want to see?
Yeah, gotcha. It's like a freeze frame.
I didn't even see what he was doing before I showed you. I just knew she was wrestling with him.
It looks like a freeze frame.
Yep. Yeah, he's a bundle of energy. I'd say joy, but he's just constantly doing something wrong.
Enerjoy. Wasn't funny. I need one of those coffees right now. All right, cool. Any other questions? If not, I'll let you guys go on your way. And Ryan and I'll get ready for class tomorrow morning. And I'll set you up for appointments for Thursday.
Are you gonna send us a link to sign up? Is that the plan?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yipper. Okay. Cool.
Sounds good.
Hey guys, good to see you. Some of you, good to see all of you. I mean, and those I didn't see. Nice to talk to you.
Whoa, dude, relax.
You give me those thumbs up, though, Sam. I appreciate that. That's reaffirming.
Only for you, Eldon.
I appreciate it. All right, guys, take care.
Yeah, have a good one.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
See you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
Stop this recording.